Ray Clements is playing in the Charity Shield for the 6th time in 8 seasons, but it's his first match for Spurs since coming from Liverpool a week ago. And the experience he ought to bring to the Spurs defence is underlined by the fact that this is his 35th game at Wembley. The other good news for Spurs fans, Steve Archibald will start the match despite his ankle injury, and he'll be partnered up front by number 11 Mark Falco, who's the replacement for the injured Garth Brooks. In defence, Miller and Roberts keep their places for now, with the new signing Paul Price from Luton named among the 5 substitutes, of whom any 2 can be used. Aston Villa also start with a new signing on the bench, Andy Blair from Coventry, and there's just one change from the Championship team. That's at number 8, where an injury to Gary Shaw gives a chance to David Geddes, whose last Wembley appearance was for Ipswich Town against Arsenal in the 1978 Cup final, when he made the winning goal. 2 things about the Wembley pitch. It's 5 yards narrower than it was last season because of the speedway track being laid down, and there's a new mark 10 yards from each corner flag, and that's to indicate where defenders must stand when a corner is being taken. They've got to be 10 yards away. It's an FA experiment, and it's up to league clubs to decide whether or not they follow suit and put the mark on their pitches. And the referee today is Alf Gray from Great Yarmouth, one of our FIFA officials. So Aston Villa start the match playing from right to left, and the 2 clubs in their normal colours. Spurs in white with Glenn Hoddle, number 10. Ozzy Ardiles. Graham Roberts. Spurs back 4, as it was in the FA Cup final, with Perryman playing right back but wearing 6. That was Des Bremner for Villa, looking for Peter Withe. Ray Clements will appreciate an early feel of the ball and gets an appreciative cheer from the Tottenham fans, who are behind the goal that Clements is occupying in the first half. Ardiles. On the run, Archibald, cut out by Evans. Miller. Here's Hoddle. Challenges by Gordon Cowans. On by Archibald. McNaught who slipped. Falco could be in. Mark Falco stronger on his left foot than he is on his right, but that fell to his wrong foot. And the reason it fell to him was because Ken McNaught made the mistake. Geddes now for Villa. Into Peter Withe. Back to Mortimer. Now Ardiles. Foul by Mortimer, who's shaved his beard off before the start of this season. He may look unfamiliar to some of you. He had that beard for quite a time, the Villa captain. This is Falco to Ardiles. Oh, another foul, but the referee wanted to play an advantage, and a second tackle came in from Colin Gibson. And it's Ardiles who, for the moment, appears to be the target. Chipped in by Hoddle. And here he is again. Perryman. This pitch looks very rough on the edges, I must say, where this speedway track has been. It's not in Wembley tradition at all. Ardiles. Number 9, Tony Galvin. And the tackle was by Swain. Here's Archibald. Well, Falco, at whatever level he's played, has scored a number of goals. He's a good finisher normally, and he'll be keen to take his chance while Garth Brooks is recovering from that cartilage operation. Archibald it was who chested the ball there to bring it under control, hooked it across, and Falco arrived there under pressure. Well, eventually somebody will bring the ball down. And it was Hoddle with a superb volley pass to Archibald. Foul by Swain, was it? Referee Gray, up with play, said no. Magnificent ball by Glenn Hoddle. The first moment of exquisite skill from the new season, provided by him. Mortimer. Cowans. Tottenham are winning an awful lot of tackles in midfield just at the moment, and they're being won by players who weren't noted for their defending. Offside against Archibald. I say weren't because Hoddle and Ardiles at one time were players who only wanted to go forward, but that's a feature of Tottenham's game that really improved on their way to winning the Cup last season. That's aimed at Peter Withe. Foul there. Ball played on in, but the referee already spotting the use of the arms in the penalty area. Good spot by Alf Gray there as Withe went up and McNaught closed in. Just see as the long free kick is taken here, Peter Withe going up first. Look at how he uses his arms there on Graham Roberts. And then Ken McNaught got a bit of a touch, but the whistle had already gone. There's Archibald battling with Swain. Galvin arriving. Nice effort. Tony Galvin, a player who can cut inside on his more favoured right foot, but that was straight at Jimmy Rimmer. Oh, well played by Aston Villa. And here comes Geddes. Well stopped by Ray Clements, who read the intentions of Geddes and is now stranded. The linesman's flag is up. Clements will get his free kick, but the initial save was his first of importance for Tottenham because Geddes was through. Put through, in fact, by Tony Morley with a lovely little ball there beyond the Tottenham defence, and Geddes came in at the angle. Ray Clements read what Geddes was going to do and just got those hands to the ball. Miller. So, Spurs 0, Aston Villa 0. And the Villa fans now making themselves heard at the right-hand end as we look. It's all getting very fiery in there, and lashing out with the foot there. Chris Hughton on Peter Withe, and Chris Hughton must surely be booked. The referee books Peter Withe. McNaught, that's a free kick. Bremner, that's a good ball. Withe now marked by Roberts. Oh, chopped him. This is becoming something of a vendetta between Withe and Tottenham at the moment. Villa's free kick. That's Evans getting up, and here he is again. And Clement saves, and then Beats Withe to the rebound. Shot by Alan Evans initially. Here's Galvin. Belia. Galvin again. Spurs with 4 players forward. A good tackle by Des Bremner. Here's Tony Morley. The two front players looking for positions, and it's going to come to Colin Gibson, and Geddes on the far post is unmarked, and Graham Roberts intercepted. Otherwise, a certain goal for Aston Villa. David Geddes was just waiting to snap up the cross. Just get the feeling that temperatures have been rising a little bit these last few minutes, and the referee having a word with Tony Morley, who I think was possibly booked for dissent. Withe! Ray Clements didn't make the cross. And Villa's player of the year last season, Big Peter Withe, puts them in front. There's Clements going up, got confused with his own defender, and Withe put the ball in. Poor Ray Clements, most unfortunate. But for Peter Withe, the sort of goal that centre-forwards thrive on. When it drops like that, there it goes, in the back of the net. Oh, and Jimmy Rimmer using his head in more ways than one. But here comes Spurs with Galvin. Ardiles. This is Villiers. And Falco. McNaught to Falco. Villiers. Ardiles. Archibald. Roberts. Model. That was actually seeking out Tony Galvin, who was a bit late starting, I think. There are 10 minutes to go in the first half, and the league champions, Aston Villa, lead the FA Cup holders Tottenham Hotspur by 1-0. This is Perriman. Falco. Model. Tony Galvin coming in on that side, and it was just knocked behind there by Ken Swain. Hoddle spraying the passes about, and Spurs searching for the equaliser. Ardiles cross, Roberts with the header. Miller is in there, but so is Rimmer. Withe just getting the other side of Roberts, and Tottenham are still just a little untidy at the back. This is Houghton, Withe. And here's Withe. Geddes. Geddes again. Oh, came off Glenn Hoddle. Straight to Gordon Cowans. Swain and Bremner both joining the attack on the far side. This is Gibson. Morley. Cowans. Geddes' flick. Roberts clearance. It's Tony Morley for Aston Villa, but poor control. They're playing for an offside here, and they've got it. Spurs moving up, a tactic not particularly appreciated by supporters. And I hope we shan't see too much of that this season. Now, Ron Saunders' team are not the offenders there, but that's a particular tactic which was used a lot in the First Division last year, and I, for one, deplore it. That was Falco to Withe. Paul Miller for Tottenham. Ardiles. Archibald. Ardiles. Falco. Good play! Oh, what a great goal by Mark Falco! Magnificent build-up by Tottenham, and what a devastating finish. Archibald involved, so was Ardiles, and Falco, controlling the ball with his left, pivoted and hit it with his right. A magnificent finish from a player who prefers his left foot. And that's brought the afternoon to life. Tony Morley. I'm sure Garth Crooks, who has been a guest of the BBC today, will appreciate that goal from his deputy. Just the sort of thing, too, to give Mark Falco some confidence. Houghton. Well, Spurs manager Keith Birkinshaw will be quite pleased with the strength of his squad if he can bring a reserve in and he can produce a goal like that. Dennis Mortimer offside. Well, that's delighted the Spurs following. Villa playing very square here in defence. Right at the end of the first half, it's Withe for Spurs. Ardiles. Galvin. Taking on Swain. Linesman flags for a free kick to Aston Villa. Well, Jimmy Rimmer stood no chance with that. It came like a bolt from the blue. So the half ends on a high note for Tottenham. And warm applause for Mark Falco. The move which led up to the goal said an awful lot about the tapestry of Tottenham's play. And it equalised an earlier effort, which was far more simple for Peter Withe, who's making the peace with Ozzy Ardiles after what at times was a tempestuous first half. It ends with a score between the league champions and the FA Cup winners of 1-1. Well, that's the Shield they're playing for, and the event actually moved to Wembley in 1974, the year that Liverpool beat Leeds on penalties. But there won't be any penalties today, because if the match is drawn after 90 minutes, the teams share that Shield. They have it for 6 months each. There's an interesting shot there. Steve Archibald is saying to Garth Crooks up on our gantry, look at the way this fella's finishing. It'll be tough for you to get your place back after Falco's goal in the first half. So away goes Spurs, playing now from the right in the second half. There's Galvin. And Villa. Dennis. And here's Bremner. Bear in mind that either side can use 2 substitutes out of the 5 on the bench. Villa. And if Archibald feels the effects of the injury in the second half, then I've no doubt that Tottenham will think about bringing on either Gary Brook or Chris Jones, because they don't want Archibald missing from the first league match next week. Mortimer receiving attention. He's changed his gloves a couple of times, Jimmy Rimmer. Here's Archibald for Spurs. It's a somewhat risky ball, but Chris Hughton got it by courtesy of Peter Withe. Nobody to his right at all. But there were 3 players to his left, and one of them is Galvin. By McNaught, here's Houghton. Oh, Falco missed his kick. And Hoddle. To Galvin. Falco scores again! Well, what a match he's having. Spurs fans celebrate once more. They've come from behind to take the lead, as indeed they did in the cup final replay. Galvin's cross, Ken McNaught with a header out. It came to Chris Hughton, whose shot landed at the feet of Falco, who completely missed the first one. Suddenly Galvin had the ball back again. It went to Hoddle, then to Galvin, and here's Falco now finishing with his trusted left foot. So 3 minutes gone in the second half, and Spurs lead 2-1. And Mark Falco's on a hat-trick, and would you believe, no player has scored a hat-trick in the Charity Shield since 1957, and it happened against Aston Villa. Here's Villa. Dealers to Villa. Oh, he's got Falco in here. And this time Rimmer foils him. It was Tommy Taylor, the late Tommy Taylor of Manchester United, who last scored a Charity Shield hat-trick 24 years ago. Tommy Taylor, who died in the Munich air crash only a year later. Well, when it comes to matches at Wembley, it's very difficult to keep Tottenham down, as Aston Villa are discovering. They've got a really terrific Wembley record, Tottenham, in FA Cups, League Cups, although they've never played in the Charity Shield at Wembley before, and neither, for that matter, can Aston Villa. And a substitution, because Dennis Mortimer is still suffering from that injury, and he is going off, and Andy Blair, signed from Coventry City for a fee eventually fixed by the tribunal, is going to get his chance as Mortimer goes off with an injury. Now Andy Blair is wearing number 13, and he started off on the left-hand side of midfield with Gordon Cowns in the centre. Withe. Clements wanting to claim that and eventually doing so. Aston Villa need a bigger squad this season. They were very lucky last season with ever present. 7 players played in every match, and they've got a European Cup campaign this year as well. So the reason for Blair's signing was to strengthen the squad. There's Evans. And there goes Geddes. And that's where Clements is going to give Tottenham something, I fancy. His ability to come out and patrol that area behind the back four, where he likes to be very much in charge. There's Andy Blair. Well played by Colin Gibson. It's going to come to Tony Morley. And there's Withe coming in, and that's gone in. And again, the cross beats Ray Clements. And again, Peter Withe puts the ball in the net. And Aston Villa are level after 52 minutes. Some very good work initially by Colin Gibson. And Ray Clements is injured. The cross finally came in from Tony Morley, and Peter Withe coming in behind David Geddes here as Clements missed his punch. And in fairness to Peter Withe, Clements was already beaten before he was injured. So Peter Withe, with 21 goals last season, has got 2 in this match, and the Tottenham goalkeeper, signed from Liverpool last week, is having a harrowing debut here. Now, it may just be that Milja Alexic, who's been displaced by Ray Clements, will have to be prepared now to come on as a substitute, because the 5 subs obviously include a goalkeeper, and Milja Alexic, who played in the cup final, is just getting ready in case Ray Clements can't resume. Keith Birkinshaw watching anxiously. So on his 35th appearance in this famous stadium, Ray Clements having a very difficult match. So Peter Withe puts the score back to 2-2. 2 for Withe and 2 for Falco. Here's Villa. And now it's Hoddle. impression is that Glenn Hoddle has drifted out of the game after that rather dramatic start he made in the first 10 or 15 minutes. But perhaps he'll come back into it later on.
As Withe up again, here's Bremner. And now Blair. And Blair again. And it might run for Peter Withe.
Well, there's been some lively play spasmodically in the two penalty areas, and Aston Villa very close to going 3-2 up there.
Falco.
Good turn by Mark Falco. And Jimmy Rimmer gets down very well to that sort of shot. It's one of his specialist pieces of goalkeeping, his positioning when a player is coming in on goal. He was in absolutely the right place, and he made the save look a great deal easier than perhaps it might have been. Falco coming in there, finding space for the shot, but look where Rimmer is. Geddes, Cowans, and there's one for Clements to turn against the bar and over from Des Bremner, and he's smiling his way through it, Ray Clements, but he's having one of those days. Really teasing ball that, and as David Geddes comes in, Clements turns it against the bar. Corner to Villa. As McNaughty was up, there's a whistle gone. Blair shoots, a player in the penalty area doing some pushing. And a free kick. 15 minutes left then in the Charity Shield. The score 2-2. But it's been a match of fits and starts. There have been some long quiet periods, and then all of a sudden flashes of excitement. Archibald dispossessed by Gibson, and he's got Geddes on the left wing, well placed. Peter Withe making his way into the penalty area, joined by three others, and Roberts turning it back. To Withe. And won by Glenn Hoddle. Here he is again. Gordon Cowans. Blair. And again, here's Withe. Oh, Blair was fouled there after he played the return ball. Paul Miller was the offender. Andy Blair trying to tuck it back into Peter Withe, and as he did so, Paul Miller was very late with the tackle. Well, they've got three tall men to come in on this, Aston Villa. They've got McNaught, Evans and Withe. Blair squaring it to Morley. There's Bremner. Evans in there, so is Geddes. One point about Geddes is that he's playing in place of Gary Shaw, who's injured, but in 3 of Villa's 6 friendly matches prior to the season starting, Gary Shaw has been substituted, which suggests to me that Ron Saunders is not entirely happy with Shaw's form at the moment, despite his reputation. And so Geddes is playing for a place. Ron Saunders renowned for keeping players' feet on the ground, and he won't stand anybody getting bigger than the rest of the team. I think Aston Villa's pre-season build-up has been rather more forceful than Tottenham's in terms of the number of matches played and where they've been, and it may be that they're nearer to match fitness and will be a little stronger in the last few minutes here. Swain. And there's Withe. Oh, Roberts let him go. That was a mistake by number 4, Graham Roberts, which he quickly acknowledged. Sometimes defenders can get on the wrong side of a forward, which is what happened there. You see, Withe just got away from Roberts, but the angle was tight and the shot was wide. Falco. Ah, here's Hoddle. Oh. Well, even the best of us lose the place at times. Here's Bremner. Blair. That was Galvin's tackle on Bremner. It's a corner to Aston Villa. Through to Withe up there again. Ozzy Ardiles to clear. Gibson to put it back. And that was Tony Galvin. And that was Falco, and they're making a real mess of this, Tottenham. Geddes. Well, goodness me. You'd think somebody could have got that ball away, and I'm sure Keith Birkinshaw thinks they should have done. They've just brought the pressure all the way back on themselves. Driven back in there by Tony Morley as he fell. There was some untidy defensive football from Tottenham just then, which certainly won't do when the league season starts. Hoddle. Mr. Houghton. Aston Villa shutting down space in front of Villa and indeed in front of Ardiles, and he's trying to shake off Blair. There's Galvin. Swain came across. Ardiles. So we're going to see a grandstand finish. Here's Archibald. Spurs have got a corner anyway. Ardiles. Headed away by Bremner as far as Hoddle. And then headed away by Blair as far as Archibald. Well, that may or may not have been going in, but Jimmy Rimmer wasn't taking any chances. Steve Archibald hasn't had much of a sight of goal this afternoon, but he hit that on his left foot, and I think it might have been, well, it might have curled in. Anyway, good save.
Holt, who's come forward, looking for Tony Morley, but it's too strong. McNaught complaining to the referee that he was fouled after the ball had gone. Here's Falco. Oh, nice back heel by Hoddle to Falco, but there wasn't much on for him. Here's Swain. Oh, and that back heel was by Withe, and here comes Kenny Swain again, and Chris Hughton just made it. So the Charity Shield is shared, with the two clubs holding the trophy for 6 months each. Mark Falco will be very pleased with his personal performance. 2 goals for Tottenham, 1 with his right foot and 1 with his left. And Peter Withe always on hand when there are chances in the 6-yard area, twice benefiting from mistakes by Ray Clements to level the final score at 2-2. Spurs keep their unbeaten record at Wembley. They've had 8 appearances here, 4 FA Cup wins, 2 League Cup wins, a draw in the first FA Cup final last season, and now a draw in the Charity Shield. So Tottenham as a club still to lose at Wembley. And this record crowd for the Charity Shield fixture, 92,500, watching now as the two teams go forward together to receive their mementos. Dennis Mortimer, the Aston Villa captain, who went off with an injury, and Steve Perryman behind him, the two captains making their way to the Royal Box together, where the famous figure of Tom Finney will present the awards. So there you are. Charity Shield is shared between Aston Villa, the league champions, and Tottenham Hotspur, the holders of the FA Cup.
Well, there was certainly enough drama and incident in that match to send a record Charity Shield crowd home happy. The respective managers, Ron Saunders and Keith Birkinshaw, were not too displeased either, or the majority of players on both sides. Obviously, Ray Clements was a little rueful after his debut for Spurs, but after being asked to play at some strange venues for Liverpool reserves recently, and in front of just a handful of folk, it's perhaps understandable that he found the menace of Big Peter Withe somewhat different.
Withe! Ray Clements didn't make the cross.
Well, we work our corners. We try and knock them into the near post or the far post. And I changed, funnily enough, I stood in front of Ray and then moved away from him. And when it would come over, I thought he wasn't going to reach it because he'd shouted it was his ball. And he didn't palm it, it seemed to just drop.
Did you make contact with him?
No, I just stepped back and let him do it himself. But it just seemed it hit his fingers and it just dropped nicely for me. So I was on hand to stick it in anyway.
Ray, you wouldn't want me to make any excuses for you. There must be some disappointment after your debut.
Yes, obviously. You've gone out there at Wembley hoping to put on a faultless performance and give all the Spurs fans heart for the season. And, of course, the first goal was a tragedy for me, really, and that it was a goal that I've got to put down to myself, and that I misjudged the flight of the corner, and, of course, I only got my fingertips to it and made it very easy for Peter Withe to stick in the net.
Worried by the presence of Peter, presumably?
Well, obviously, they've got so many big men that they're going to cause anybody problems, and they get so many men into that 6-yard box. As you know yourself, it's very, very difficult to get a clear run. And I tried to anticipate, actually, before the ball was struck, exactly where it was going to land. And, in fact, I was sort of half a yard out, and that half a yard made the difference between me catching it cleanly and just getting my fingertips to it.
The second one was an even more difficult ball because it was to the far post. You were having to move your feet quickly backwards. Now, you stayed down, Ray, there. What happened on that one?
Well, I jumped. I just got hit from behind, and it was sort of only 5 minutes afterwards that I realised that it was Peter Withe that had hit me, and he'd headed the ball into the net, and I was just laid out cold.
You must have been quite happy with some of those saves off your line and everything. I mean, it's match practice that you're looking for. You've played all over the place pre-season, haven't you?
Well, I've played all over the place, and I've played at Withe, Oswestry Town and Stafford Rangers. I haven't, the only first team game I had was at Scunthorpe United. So I am lacking in match practice. And
there were about 92,495 people short on those counts as well.
That's right, yeah. So I knew that was going to be a problem today, but as you say, I was quite pleased with some of my work, but obviously I've got to work on a little bit on other parts of my game, which, you know, nobody's infallible, and it just means a little bit more hard work next week before the season starts.
Well, honours may have finished even today in the traditional curtain raiser to the season, but one trophy which was taken back to the Midlands this evening was the BBC Goal of the Season salver. The winner was, of course, Tony Morley of Aston Villa, who received the award from the hands of a Spurs player who was desperately unlucky not to have been in contention himself, with a cup final goal scored just after the competition had actually been decided.
Villiers. And still Ricky Villiers. What a fantastic run. He scored. Amazing goal.
Nice to see you, my goal again, you know. And I want to congratulate Tony for your goal of the season.
Okay, thank you very much.
Tony, let me ask you about that goal, which of course was back in February, the goal that you scored at Everton, at Goodison Park. What are your memories of it?
Well, really, I can't remember that much of it. I remember Everton attacking and the ball breaking down our left back to Gary Williams. He played a ball up to Gary Shaw, who turned brilliant at the time and just sent me way down the wing. And I remember cutting in, I remember somebody coming across, and I think I was just maybe 5 or 6 yards in front of our front, Peter and Shorey, so I just had to go myself. I took it inside and I seen the gap and I just took it. Lucky enough it went in the top corner.
And I'm sure this beautiful trophy is going to take a treasured place on the sideboard, Tony.
Yes, I'll send this home to my dad. My dad keeps all the trophies. I'm lucky enough to win, so this will be going back to Merseyside.
And our congratulations to Tony. One good piece of news tonight is that all 10 First Division players sent off abroad in pre-season matches will be able to play on the opening day of the league season next Saturday. The FA Disciplinary Department have told us tonight that any suspensions that may result from the recent incidents cannot begin until 14 days after the referees' reports come through from the various FAs abroad. And so far, no reports have been received. So all those players sent off are available to their clubs next week. And that's especially good news for Leeds United, who've had 3 men ordered off, and Nottingham Forest and Southampton, who each feared they might be without 2 players when they face each other in Nottingham next Saturday. One transfer was completed this evening when Swansea City paid a club record £350,000 for Liverpool's Colin Irwin. And it means that Swansea manager John Toshak, himself a former Liverpool star, has now bought 5 players from his old club, plus Bob Latchford from rivals Everton. Another transfer that looks likely to go through is that of the talented St Johnstone striker Ali McCoist. Rangers manager John Gregg has admitted making a substantial offer, and one which would break the cash record for a Scottish club. Middlesbrough and Wolves have also bid for McCoist, but the indications are that the 18-year-old striker would be happier to stay in Scotland. Finally, pools news, and no fortunes around this weekend, I'm afraid. There were 12 score draws on the coupons, and the dividend forecast is low, with no claims required. The score draw numbers are 1, 2, 7, 15, 16, 24, 26, 33, 35, 36, 41 and 49.
Well, I couldn't help noticing the sentiments expressed by Glenn Hoddle in the Daily Mail today. And I think most people would agree with him. Glenn is fortunate to have the talent to please himself and entertain the public, and the will also to use it come what may. And his pass, which created the opening goal, or the second goal for Spurs, on the face of it may not have seemed extraordinary, but even a short pass sometimes makes it difficult to get the precise touch, and his pass to Galvin had exactly the pace on it that was required, and Falco in the end reaps the dividend with that shot. But his midfield play, when he's operating in that area, is the thing that really makes him special. His capacity to shrug a player off by some intricate foot movement linked with the body for a tall player is quite remarkable as it was there, and then to spot the target without wasting too much time. It's Archibald's head that moment, and when McNaught slips, it gives Galvin a chance to test Grimmer. That Hoddle at his best in the middle of the field. That was good. But the extraordinary moment and the magic moment, which took my breath away, was when he did it all to thwart the midfield jungle, as I sometimes call it, and clear it with just one pass. And it's a volley. This is it, coming up now, and he's done it all with one stroke. Archibald, not quite as fit as he might have been today, unfortunately didn't make the ending to that very precise ball as happy as the start. But no doubt that Glenn Hoddle is an entertainer supreme. And it brings me to the subject of entertainment and Bob to the subject of entertainment, because we've been talking about it all day. Is it more important for the coming season to entertain the public, or do you think the sort of enthusiasm for success at all costs that seems to be about the place at the moment is the thing that matters?
Well, it's always the great dilemma anyway, isn't it, Jim, really? Obviously, success has become the be-all and end-all, certainly in the first division and in the lower divisions as well. But the great dilemma is, you know, the great entertainment, defining that great entertainment with that balance of really a hard nature. And I think if you look through the great sides, I mean, I think back to the Holland side in '74, which was fantastic. I hope they win the World Cup. And all right, they provided so much entertainment for us, but perhaps they were nearly the dirtier side in the tournament. So, you know, there's the dilemma, isn't it?
Yeah, they did have exciting ability too. I mean, a few of those players could excite you in the way that Hoddle can when he expresses himself on the ball. But, yeah, we know only too well that there is a feeling that there is too much midfield play, too much defensive running, and that players are not able to break out of that and provide the entertainment. I mean, the crowds are going down, aren't they? Do you think they're going to go up this year and they're going to get the message, or down?
Well, once again, it comes back to all this transfer business as well, doesn't it, really? The sides who've really spent, or the clubs who've really spent, have put themselves under even greater pressure. I mean, it's great to have new players. It's great for the fans. They love to see new players. But those clubs who've really gone overboard, spent big money, perhaps bought 2 or 3 players, they're under even greater pressure, because the fans are expecting them, because they've done that, to win far more. Once again, I think that the pressure has got much greater for those sort of clubs.
Now, is that a good thing? Because it's almost like putting those players in a pressure cooker. You know, and the intention to win, almost at all costs, is coming from the top, from boards of directors, from managers, you know, who see that as furthering their career, and it's the players who must feel that pressure. Now, are they going to respond by being over-physical and we are going to see more of the things that we don't like in the game, or do you think this season, with the maybe 10 clubs competing for the First Division title, we're going to see better football?
Well, I hope so, Jim. Obviously, we both hope so, but I think, and I'm the eternal optimist, but I think the 3 points for a win is going to be the great thing. I think that if... I'm unhappy that a lot of the people I've talked to in football have turned around and said that oh, well, we'll score a goal and we'll defend that. But when you think about it, if you win 5 games on the trot and you pick up 15 points, or you play 5 games on the trot and you only get a point, that's a lot of points to make up for that side that's only drawing them. I'm hoping that that is a really positive step in the right direction.
Well, so am I. Thanks for those views. I do know that it was rather strange about that, because the managers recommended it in a little booklet that they brought out and said 3 points for a win and 1 for a draw would be a good thing. And then all the chairmen, when they got together, said, that's a good idea, let's do it. And then quite a few managers started knocking it. So let's all give it a chance to see whether it works. I don't think it'll do any harm anyway. Well, as the new season approaches, let's finally take a look at the drama, the achievements and the atmosphere of last season, capsulated and put to music. Good night.